I set up a fortune-telling stall. Almost starved to death at the bun shop. The boss lady saw how pitiful I was. She took the initiative to treat me to a big meal of steamed buns. To thank her, I did a fortune reading for her. Unexpectedly, I calculated that her daughter was about to be in mortal danger. As soon as the boss lady heard something was wrong with her daughter, she couldn't sit still. She jumped up. What nonsense are you talking about? The old man beside her was startled by the boss lady. He quickly tried to calm her down. Sister, don't listen to him. He's just scaring you. The boss lady calmed down and sat back down. Young man, how can I resolve whatever disaster my daughter is facing? Tell me her birth date and time. The boss lady quickly recited a string of numbers. I calculated, then said firmly, your daughter's current boyfriend is her calamity. He's a bad guy. He's scheming to take advantage of your daughter. The boss lady breathed a sigh of relief. Her daughter didn't have a boyfriend at all. It seemed this young man might just be a blind squirrel finding a nut. He got one thing right by chance. Young man, my daughter doesn't have a boyfriend yet. Cece, I told you were lying. The old man straightened his back a little. A smug look appeared on his face. My calculation is absolutely correct. Maybe she hasn't told you. The old man hunched his back again. Oh sister, that's possible too. Why don't you give her a call and ask? The boss lady thought for a moment. It really wasn't clear-cut. Maybe the girl was keeping it from her. So she took out her phone and dialed her daughter's number. The phone rang twice. The boss lady's daughter, Chun Xian, answered quickly. Mom, why are you calling me at this hour? Did something happen? The boss's wife put the call on speaker. What could happen to me? I just missed you. But you, is there something you're hiding from me? What are you talking about? What could I possibly hide from you? The voice on the other end sounded a bit uncertain. Calling me at this time. Is the shop not busy? Don't change the subject on me. Tell me honestly, have you started dating someone? Chun Xian's heart skipped a beat. That can't be. Her mom didn't know a single person around here. So there was no way anyone could tip her off. How did she know? Who told you? Don't worry about who told me. Chun Xian hesitated for a moment. Then she finally told the truth. But we only started dating a few days ago. That's why I didn't tell you. You little brat, you really are seeing someone. If the fortune teller hadn't figured it out today, how long were you planning to keep it from me? What fortune teller? Don't let yourself be fooled. There are so many scammers out there now. All kinds of tricks. Don't believe any of it. Hearing this, I felt a bit helpless. So to prove myself, I said, your boyfriend is 3 years older than you. He has a cousin who has a 1-year-old son. Who are you? How do you know all this? I continued. That cousin of yours is now living with your boyfriend. Hearing this, Chun Xian was even more shocked. Knowing she had a boyfriend could be explained. Maybe a coworker had heard or seen them. But the fact that her boyfriend was living with his cousin. Only the 3 of them knew. No stranger could possibly know. She spoke in a threatening tone. Come on, spill it. Who did you hear this from? What do you want to do? If you dare to swindle my mom's money, I'll call the police. I paused for a moment, then suddenly asked, you must be quite wealthy, right? Chun Xian snorted coldly. Your foxtail is showing, isn't it? Finally got the money coming in. And you still say you're not after my money? So what if I have money? You won't swindle a single cent out of me. I ignored her attitude and continued, your boyfriend is dating you just to swindle your money. Chun Xian naturally wouldn't believe me. I went on, your boyfriend's cousin is not his real cousin, but his wife. They've already registered their marriage. That little boy is their child. No, they're not husband and wife now, because to plot against your money, they got a fake divorce. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Chun Xian even exclaimed, that's impossible, absolutely impossible. My boyfriend is very good to me. He grants every wish I have. He cares about everything. We've always been sweet and in love. How could he possibly cheat me? Besides, that cousin of his is so quiet and gentle. Every time I go to see her, his cousin would voluntarily take the child and leave. He would also actively keep his distance many times. I can't see anything wrong with that. I continued. Actually, they don't have much affection for each other. They only got together because of shared interests, so they hide it very well. The 2 of them aim to swindle your money. Within a day or 2, your boyfriend will approach you about investing in a project. Though he won't directly ask to borrow money, he'll guide you into offering to invest voluntarily. That boyfriend of yours is really no good. From the very start, his approach to you was all planned out. His plan is to swindle as much money from you as possible before marriage. If everything goes smoothly, marry you next year. As for the wedding expenses, he will come up with all sorts of excuses and not pay a single cent, making you cover the cost. Even the living expenses after marriage will be on you. Once he drains all your money, he will buy you a hefty insurance policy and then stage your accidental death to claim the insurance payout. My words stunned the landlady and the old man, and sent chills down Chin Xian's spine on the other end of the phone. Just 2 days ago her boyfriend had mentioned that he wanted to invest with a friend, but she was too busy at the time, and he didn't elaborate. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a long time. The landlady grew anxious. Daughter, it's not too late to know the truth now. Break up with that scumbag immediately. Don't jump into the fire. Just end it now. Mom, don't worry. I know what to do. Chun Xian hung up hastily. My words had stirred a huge storm inside her. Could not calm down for a long time. After hanging up the phone, the boss lady was extremely excited, grabbing my hand and murmuring repeatedly, "Young man, thanks to your reminder today. Otherwise my daughter would have really fallen for that scoundrel's trick. Good thing we caught it early." As she spoke, she got up and took out 500 yuan from the counter. "Little master, this is just a small token of my gratitude. You must take it. I am so grateful for your help with my daughter." I took the several red banknotes, happily stuffed them into my pocket. Plant good causes and reap good results. If you hadn't treated me to steamed buns, none of this would have happened. Everything is cause and effect. As I spoke, I turned to look at the old man. "Old man, you lose." By now, the old man's eyes had shifted from disbelief to admiration. "Old fellow, I admit defeat. The money for the buns. I'll pay, little master. You help me take a look too. If you don't take the money, you're a fool." I quickly nodded and did a reading. 500 yuan. Hearing this, the old man was very straightforward. He took out 500 yuan and handed it to me. I happily took the money. I looked seriously at the old man, looking at the old man's facial features. Bright eyes, clearly defined black and white, deep and long philtrum. It's a face of good fortune. No worries about food and clothing. Children and grandchildren around his knees. No major disasters. No major disasters. What about minor disasters? I looked at him again. Minor disasters? There is one, actually, but it's a small matter not worth mentioning. The old man got anxious as soon as he heard that. A small matter is still a matter. Tell me, what is it? How small? When you are 99 years old. I can live to 99? No, not when you are 99. Your grave gets dug up. The government expropriates land to build a road, and they compensate your family a large sum of money. Old man, you really are blessed with great fortune. Even dead, you can make money for your son. The madam boss burst out laughing. Old brother, you really are lucky. What the hell good fortune? Whoever wants it can have it. I don't want it. I asked the madam boss for a pen and paper, drew 2 peace talismans, handed one to the madam boss. This peace talisman can be used once. Remember, you must carry it with you. Can ensure safety and peace. Turn misfortune into fortune. Then gave the other one to the old man. Old man took the talisman paper, carefully tucked it away. At the same time, after Chun Xian hung up the phone, she felt uneasy. Couldn't focus on the documents in her hand. Asked for leave. Went straight to her boyfriend's house. The boyfriend wasn't home. Only the cousin was there. Chun Xian chatted casually with the cousin. The cousin was already overwhelmed by the child. Having someone help was naturally more than willing. Chun Xian took advantage of her distraction, pulled out a few strands of the child's hair. Then, using the excuse of helping clean up, feeling it wasn't enough, also pocketed a cigarette butt from the ashtray. Got what she wanted. Chun Xian made an excuse and left. After leaving, she went straight to the hospital. Found a friend she knew. Got the test results as quickly as possible. Looking at the report, Chun Xian's nails dug into her flesh. They really were father and son. The paternity test proved it. Chun Xian broke up with her boyfriend immediately. The evidence was irrefutable. The boyfriend didn't dare to argue. Could only obediently return all the money Chun Xian had spent on him. Ended the relationship without a fuss. After saying goodbye to the landlady and the old man, I strolled over to the park. It was the weekend. The park was quite crowded, so I set up a fortune-telling stall under a tree. But no sooner had I set it up, a security guard on patrol approached. Out of curiosity, the guard leaned in to get a clear look at the writing on the paper. I put on a smile. "Want your fortune told, sir?" The guard glanced at me and turned to leave. "Why are you leaving? Old man's got some attitude." Just as I was grumbling, I saw the guard coming back with a loudspeaker. Turned it on. A loud voice rang out. "Believe in science. Reject superstition." The voice was too loud. Startled me. The old man flashed me a bright smile. Without saying a word, he just stood quietly to the side holding the loudspeaker. The loudspeaker kept playing on a loop. More and more people around started looking at me. This old man is lacking metal in his 5 elements. He's asking for a beating. If I weren't currently transcending the 3 realms, beyond the 5 elements, I would have fought him. So I rolled up my stall and moved to another spot to sit. Not long after, that old man slowly followed me again. With the loudspeaker on his back, he circled around me. I felt extremely wronged. I just wanted to make some money. What's wrong with that? I took a deep breath. When patience runs out, there's no need to endure anymore. So I packed up. Quit. Old man, I'm done setting up. Can't I just take a stroll? The old man smiled gently. Sure, take a stroll. He said that, turned off the loudspeaker, but still didn't leave. I took a few deep breaths, silently telling myself, don't get angry, don't get angry. Getting angry over this isn't worth it. If I get too angry, the old man would have to compensate me. Ignoring the old man, I walked ahead by myself, watching the lively crowd. My mood unconsciously lifted. There were many street vendors in the park, selling all kinds of things. I was extremely curious. I bought whatever I saw. Suddenly I stopped in my tracks. There was a patch of woods in the park. A few people were having a picnic under the trees, laughing and chatting. What a lively scene. I stared at them steadily, hesitating for a long time. I finally walked over to them. Lu Yenru, who was having a picnic, watched me approach, and teased, "Handsome guy, are you trying to get our WeChat?" Hearing this, I didn't get angry. Just a bunch of brats. Not even a fraction of my age. Not worth bothering with. Do you want to buy a peace charm? Can keep you safe, protected from ghosts and evil. The security guard overheard me from afar, picked up his megaphone and walked over. The picnickers all turned to look at me, doubting what they just heard. This guy didn't come to chat us up. He's actually selling charms. Suddenly everyone's gaze toward me shifted. What a shame. Such a handsome guy. But his brain is broken. I guess God is fair after all. You'd better go home now. Your family must be worried sick. Do you know the way back? Want us to take you? I still shook my head. Really? Are you sure? But there's someone sitting right under your butts. They'll follow you. Someone was displeased. Hey dude, stop talking nonsense. There's no one here. I pointed under where they were sitting. Dig a meter down from here. There's a female corpse. Some people got up in fear. Others didn't believe it. I pointed to another spot. Dig about 10 centimeters here. There's a bracelet. Dig it up if you don't believe me. Lu Yenru swallowed her saliva, forced a stiff smile. You sound like you're telling the truth. Are scams this creative nowadays? You almost drowned in the river when you were 5 years old. After being rescued, you had a high fever for 3 days. Your parents divorced when you were 18. You lived with your mother. At 20, you had your first boyfriend. You dated for half a year. He cheated on you. Do you need me to say more? The landlady's face turned pale instantly. Then I walked over to the old man. Sir, you have a son and a daughter. You have 2 grandsons. Your son is abroad now. You live with your daughter. Your wife is a retired teacher. She had a serious illness last year, right? The old man froze on the spot. His hand, about to press the switch, stopped. His face was full of disbelief. He got every detail right. Then is there really a dead body buried underground here? Damn, there can't actually be a corpse, right? The picnickers instantly remembered what I had just said. Frightened, they quickly ran to the side. For a moment, the atmosphere was eerily silent. Suddenly, the security guard put down his megaphone, rolled up his sleeves and said, "I'll dig." Soon, a bracelet was actually dug up. Everyone's faces immediately turned pale. The old man's hands, digging the hole, were trembling. There really was a bracelet. This is just a coincidence, right? Young man. I didn't speak. I signaled with my eyes for him to keep digging. The old man took a deep breath. He steeled himself and continued digging. Soon, a piece of white bone came into view. The old man was so frightened he threw away his shovel. He leaped to the side in a flash. Despite his age, he was unusually agile. His face pale, he tilted his head back, and fainted. The timid girl started crying. What should we do? Someone's dead. The old man's legs were shaking. He stared at me in terror. Are you a god? The others all turned to look at me. I glanced at the security guard who had just woken up. What god? We should believe in science, right? The security guard gave an awkward laugh. It looked more like a cry. He stammered. Call the police. With that, he started pinching his own philtrum, gasping heavily. Damn, I almost lost my pension this time. At that moment, the bold one came to his senses. He pulled out his phone to call the police. I seized the opportunity to start selling. Want a safety charm? It ensures safety and smooth sailing. Immune to ghosts and evil spirits. Only 500 per sheet. Yes, yes, yes. No one dared to doubt me anymore. Several people scrambled to buy the charms and wore them against their skin, as if they feared being touched by a ghost 1 second later. The charm papers sold out instantly. I grinned from ear to ear. The old guard shakily put down his safety megaphone nearby. The police arrived shortly after. After inspecting the scene, they took several people back for statements. Now, inside the Criminal Investigation Office, Captain Wong, a veteran detective with 10 years of experience, was taking my statement. Witness, state your name, age, and gender. Report it. Saran, about 1,000 years old. Can be male or female. Can be male or female. What the hell is that? Captain Wong wondered if he had heard wrong. I answered seriously. I can be either male or female, depends on what you need. Captain Wong said sternly. Let me remind you, obstruction of justice carries a fine of 200 to 500 yuan, and 5 to 10 days of detention. For serious cases, criminal liability may be pursued. So please answer my questions truthfully. But I'm telling the truth. If being a man doesn't work, I can turn into a woman for you. Captain Wong was speechless. He turned and wrote male on the record. How do you know a corpse is buried there? I calculated it. Captain Wong frowned again and again. Feeling his patience was about to run out. Calculated it. I nodded seriously and said, yes, calculated it. Captain Wong gave me a suspicious look, instinctively feeling I was talking nonsense. But he had read the other witnesses' statements, and they indeed matched exactly what I said. Captain Wong couldn't help but look at me again. Having worked on cases for many years, he had seen all kinds of people. He knew that you can't judge a book by its cover. But a young guy who can tell fortunes? Who would believe that? Thinking about his doubt, Captain Wong took another deep breath, putting on a gentle smile. Mr. Su, obstructing justice can lead to a prison sentence. Congratulations. You're going to be a father. Captain Wong was taken aback. Your wife is pregnant. With twins. I tilted my head and looked at him, and suddenly blurted out. Captain Wong was stunned. What? My wife is pregnant? With twins? How is that possible? Before Captain Wong finished speaking, the phone rang. He picked up the phone and saw it was his wife calling. After answering the call, Captain Wong's face broke into a huge smile. He was so excited his hands and feet were trembling. His grin stretched from ear to ear. His wife said she was pregnant. The couple had been married for years without a child, and his wife had always been unhappy about it. Unexpectedly, she had conceived. She had just gone to the hospital for a checkup, and it was twins. After hanging up, Captain Wong was grinning from ear to ear. My wife called me. She said she just went to the hospital for a checkup. She's 2 months pregnant with twins. That's great. Congratulations. Several people in the office quickly stepped forward to offer their congratulations. Captain Wong glanced over at me, waved his hand, telling everyone to quiet down. I ignored him. Instead, I looked at another police officer. Your mom went to the supermarket to grab discounted eggs and sprained her ankle, right? He was taken aback, then nodded. Yeah. She sprained it yesterday while grabbing eggs. Just then, a female officer named Lu Li asked with a smile. Your predictions are pretty accurate. Can you see what's going on with me? You have quite severe uterine cold. Every time you get your period, it's excruciating. I took off my small crossbody bag and placed it on the desk. You're in luck. Meeting me. I happen to have a talisman that treats this. Lu Li nodded in astonishment. That's right. Those few days every month during my period are the most painful for me. I've seen both Chinese medicine and Western doctors. They all said it can only be slowly regulated. I've taken tons of medicine, but it never seems to get better. I opened the cloth bag, took things out one by one. As I pulled out more and more items, everyone's eyes went wide. Their mouths hung open. A stack of cash. A pile of triangular folded talismans. Blank yellow talisman paper and cinnabar. A split-tipped brush. Bananas, apples and odds and ends filled the entire desk. Seeing I was still pulling things out, everyone in the office was stunned. They all crowded around, staring at me like I was an alien, watching my palm-sized cloth bag. How it could hold so many things. Impossible, absolutely impossible. This is too unscientific. Finally, I pulled out a piece of folded triangular talisman paper. I handed it to her. This is a womb-warming talisman. You stick it on your lower belly. It should be completely cured in about a month. Lioli stared coldly at her without taking it. The office was dead silent, the air seeming to freeze for a long moment. Captain Wong was the first to snap out of his shock. His eyes darted back and forth between me and the small cloth pouch. In the end, he couldn't hold back. He opened his mouth to ask, "Your pouch doesn't look that big. How can it hold so many things?" His words jolted everyone's nerves. I've got a storage talisman stuck in my pouch. I found a storage talisman. This is it. As long as you stick it inside a bag, you can store things hundreds of times the actual size. The people in the office stared at me in disbelief. A piece of paper can be that powerful? Is this a real-life myth? Lioli, who had barely come to her senses, quickly reached out with both hands to take the talisman paper. Thank you, really. I don't even know how to express how to thank you. All right. I held out my hand. No need to be polite. Just pay up. 500? Lioli was taken aback. Then she readily paid the money. I smiled with my eyes narrowed. I tucked the money away, quickly packed everything up. Lioli, who had put away the talisman paper, gazed at me with shining eyes. She muttered to herself. She was a police officer. She had to lead by example. She had to believe in science. Put an end to feudal superstition. Captain Wong rubbed his face a couple of times. Got back to the main topic. Who is the killer? Can you figure it out? Or can you deduce any other clues? I tilted my head and asked, will you pay? Captain Wong took a deep breath. I'll pay. Having received a definite answer, his face immediately lit up with a smile. Give me the deceased's date of birth. I can give it a try. I don't have it. If I knew his date of birth, I would already know who he is. Why would I still be asking you? I frowned. I see. Are you in a hurry? If not, we can do it another day. Of course we are. The higher-ups are very concerned about this case. They gave him a week to solve it, but the clues we have so far are very scarce. All we know is the victim is a female around 25 years old. She may have been subjected to inhuman torture before death. Almost all her ribs were broken. Her fingers were shattered. The time of death was 5 years ago. Time is running out. Is there any way? Just say it, no matter what. Then there is only one way. I can summon the spirit of the deceased. You can ask him yourselves. Captain Wong's expression froze. What the hell? This young man actually wants him to ask a ghost. Maybe I didn't hear that clearly. Could you say that again? I said, if the deceased hasn't been reincarnated yet, I can find him. If you have any questions, you can ask him yourselves. Captain Wong turned his head to look at his stunned colleague. Sun Lin asked in a low voice. He turned to look at his stunned colleague. Sun Lin asked quietly, did he just say we should go ask a ghost? Yes, he confirmed he hadn't misheard. Captain Wong's gaze toward me turned a bit strange. Come with me to the park tonight. Captain Wong was silent for a long time. He struggled to make a decision. All right, we'll go with you. I smiled and held out my hand. I can't help you with fieldwork for free, right? Fine, take this 1,000 yuan for now. I beam with joy. At the police station, I sit and wait for nightfall. Late night, I follow 3 police officers to the place where the body was found. I pinch a talisman between 2 fingers, muttering a few incantations under my breath. It ignites without fire. In a blink, it burns to ashes. The ashes drift away without wind. I wonder if it's just psychological. The 3 of them suddenly feel much colder. An inexplicable fear rises in their hearts, as if someone is watching them. Sun Lin shivers. He mutters to himself, it must be because I didn't wear enough clothes. If I had known it would be this cold at night, I would have worn more layers. But there's nothing here in the middle of the night. Oh, I forgot you can't see them. My finger traces a streak of golden light before their eyes. It quickly merges into their eyes. All right, now you can see. Sun Lin blinks exaggeratedly. He looks around. Still nothing there. As soon as he finishes speaking, on the tree in front of them, with a whoosh, a female ghost suddenly hangs down from the tree. Her long hair hangs down. Her eyes are 2 hollow sockets. Blood gushes from her mouth. Her voice is indistinct, as if saying, are you looking for me? Except for me. The others are scared out of their wits. A sharp scream from Liuli rings out. He hasn't fainted yet. Sun Lin, standing beside him, rolls his eyes back, and falls straight backward. I shake my head. So useless. Liuli looks on. Sun Lin fell first? What's going on? I haven't fainted yet. This brat fainted before me. Wang Kai has handled countless cases. I consider myself mentally tough. At this moment he also felt his scalp tingling. As if countless. Claiming to have extraordinary psychological resilience. At that moment her scalp was also tingling. Her limbs were stiff. The expression on her face was as if struck by lightning. The pale corners of her mouth twitched downward. We have something to ask you. My daughter intuitively feels that I am dangerous. After floating down from the tree, staying far away. Dare not approach. Looked at them with 2 bloody hollow eyes, confused and terrified. Wang Kai suppressed his fear, and together with Lu Li, supported Sun Lin's arms, 1 on each side, and quickly retreated behind me. Set Sun Lin down. Wang Kai and Lu Li decisively raised their guns, and stood in front of me. Be careful, step back. I watched them, clearly trembling, yet still standing firmly in front. Felt a surge of emotion. Put the gun away. This is useless against ghosts. Besides, with me here, nothing will happen. Don't you have questions to ask? Hurry up and ask. Wang Kai stood frozen for a moment. Then he and Lu Li put away their guns. After taking out their IDs, their expressions immediately became calm and resolute. We're from the Municipal Criminal Police. We're investigating your murder case. So we hope you can tell us who the killer is. Help us provide clues. The female ghost tried to say something, but as soon as she opened her mouth, blood gushed out. She made unintelligible sounds. It was impossible to make out what she was saying. Wang Kai and Liuli looked at each other in bewilderment. How can we question her? We can't hear anything clearly. He raised his hand and shot out a talisman. It merged into the female ghost's body, and disappeared. Immediately after, the female ghost's appearance changed. In the blink of an eye, she turned into a delicate young woman. Ouch, it hurt so much. How did I end up on the floor? Sun Lin sat up, clutching the back of his head. Taking in his surroundings, he suddenly remembered everything. He jumped to his feet, grabbing my arm tightly. He shouted, "Master! There's a ghost! A ghost!" I tried to pull my arm away in disgust, but Sun Lin held on so tightly that I had to give up. Just as I was about to speak, I saw Wang Kai turn around, looking at Sun Lin with utter disappointment. Just as I was about to speak, I saw Wang Kai turn around, glaring at Sun Lin with a look that said, "Shut up, you worthless fool." This brat was so embarrassing. Sun Lin shut his mouth sullenly, but his hand still clung to my arm without letting go. He cautiously scanned the room. No female ghost. Instead, there was a beautiful woman. It seemed the female ghost had left. Sun Lin let out a long breath. He let go of my arm and walked over to Wang Kai. Smiling, he greeted the female ghost. "Hello. My name is Sun Lin. Who are you? How come I didn't see you just now?" The female ghost ignored him, still lost in her own thoughts. "The killer? Who's the killer?" The female ghost muttered to herself, dazed. She was trying hard to recall something. Gradually, the black aura around the female ghost grew thicker. She seemed to remember something. Suddenly, the black aura surged violently. Her expression twisted into a ferocious one. "Kill her! Kill her! I want to kill him!" Sun Lin almost peed his pants in fear. I frowned. I slapped her across the face. The black aura on the female ghost scattered a lot immediately. She also regained her senses, standing with her head bowed, trembling. "Behave yourself. Whatever I ask you, you answer. If you don't behave yourself, I'll beat you until your soul is shattered." I turned to Wang Kai and said, "I think it's better if I ask." Wang Kai nodded. When it comes to dealing with ghosts, he really wasn't good at it. "Who are you? How did you die? Who is the killer who murdered you?" The female ghost looked on the verge of tears. "The killer is a man. I don't know him. I don't know who he is. I don't recognize him." "Then it was robbery, assault, or revenge." "None of those. That person is a demon." Seeing the female ghost's black aura about to surge again, he flicked his finger and a golden light shot into her body. The black aura dissipated instantly. Wang Kai, seeing the female ghost's emotions calm down, then continued to speak. "Miss, tell us the details of what happened. We will definitely catch the killer and bring him to justice." "My name is Zhang Chanqian. I am 20 years old. After graduating from high school, I came here alone to work. That night I got off my night shift. When I walked into a small alley, suddenly someone covered my mouth and nose. When I woke up, I was locked in a room. Do you know what he did to me? He is a devil. He's a killing maniac. He locked me with iron chains. He tortured me little by little. He broke my ribs. He snapped my limbs. I kept begging, but he completely ignored me. He tortured me in different ways every day. I don't know how many times I fainted. Each time I was tortured and woke up in pain. I felt as if I were living in hell." The female ghost shouted angrily, as if she had returned to the time of being tortured. Several people heard her words. The few people heard her words could not calm down for a long time. Is this even human? The female ghost was right. A devil, a demon. Wang Kai thought for a moment and asked, "During this time, did she say anything?" "Since I was caught, he hasn't said a single word." "Then what does he look like?" "I don't know. Every time he comes, he wears a devil mask. I don't know what he looks like either. I only know he is very thin. Height is around 1.7 meters. Think carefully. Does he have any distinguishing features?" "I remember now. His left arm. There is a scar on his left arm. Round. Looks like a cigarette burn. And once he went out to make a phone call. I vaguely heard him say he was Sun Mingyuan. But the distance was a bit far. I'm not quite sure if it was Sun Mingyuan. What's wrong with him being called Sun Mingyuan? You know, I have a distant cousin. His name is Sun Mingyuan." I spoke up. "Do you have a photo of your cousin? Let me see, then I'll know if it's him." Soon, Sun Lin took out his phone and started searching. Soon he found a photo of Sun Mingyuan. I only took one look, and said to Wang Kai very confidently, "Go arrest him. He has more than one life on his hands. At least killed 5 people. Sun Lin and Liuli looked incredulous. Wang Kai was also extremely shocked. "Really? But without evidence? We police can't just arrest anyone. We need evidence." I immediately opened my third eye, looked carefully. There is a hidden room in his basement. Right now, there is a person locked inside. If we go too late, that person will die. As for the evidence, I can help you cast a truth charm on him. Then the evidence will naturally appear. But it does come with a fee. Just $500. All right, here's the money. I took the money with a grin. I won't let you lose out. Also, I'll give each of you a peace talisman. Keep it close to your body. It will ensure safety and smooth sailing. No ghosts or evil can harm you. $500. For talismans is already a friendly price. I handed her 3 peace talismans. Then I looked at the female ghost. "You'll come with me for now. Once your case is resolved, I'll send you to reincarnation." The female ghost was originally filled with hatred, her resentment lingering, her obsession unbroken. She wandered the world unable to enter the cycle of rebirth. Now that someone could help her take revenge, she naturally had nothing left to cling to. She then nodded. But she nodded too hard, and her head fell off, rolling twice on the ground. She hurriedly picked it up, placed it back on her neck, and adjusted it. I'll do as the master says. Wang Kai, Sun Lin, and Liuli were so scared they almost passed out. I took out a small, glossy, oil-slick gourd, opened the lid, muttered a few incantations, and the female ghost turned into a puff of black smoke and drilled into the gourd. Wang Kai, Sun Lin, and Liuli put away their peace talismans. Then the three of them stared intently at the gourd in my hand, their shock beyond words. Wang Kai and the others returned to the police station. The leader's office had its lights on. Wang Kai knocked and entered, recounting the day's events. Upon hearing this, Director Zhou broke into a grin. Wang Kai had been under his wing since joining the police force. After all these years, he knew his temperament well. When had he ever believed in this sort of thing? When did you start believing in this, kid? Just today. Seeing that Director Zhou didn't believe him, Wang Kai repeated the details once more. He also shared his own thoughts, saying that Bureau Chief Zhou remained silent. This sounds like something out of a horror movie. Who would believe it? But fine, let's go with what you said. If Mr. Su can really make him tell the truth, you immediately take the search warrant, and make sure to rescue the person. Wang Kai accepted the orders. He hurriedly took his team to Sun Mingyuan's place, after getting ready. I was about to sleep when Wang Kai urgently called me away. By now, Sun Mingyuan, still in his pajamas, looked at the crowd at the door. With a displeased expression, Wang Kai stepped forward and showed his badge. Hello. I'm from the Criminal Investigation Unit. Wang Kai, there's a murder case we'd like to ask you about. Mind if we come in and talk? Of course. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Cooperating with the police is my duty. Please come in. I walked in last. As Sun Mingyuan turned and walked inside, I pressed the real talisman onto his back. The talisman quickly dissolved into his body. I nodded at Wang Kai. Wang Kai understood. He took out the bracelet found at the crime scene. He asked, Mr. Sun, have you seen this bracelet before? Of course I have. The first woman I killed was wearing an identical bracelet. I see it every day. I stared at it for a whole month. How could I not recognize it? Sun Mingyuan. As he said this, his face turned pale. He covered his mouth in terror, shaking his head frantically. No, that's not it. That's not what he meant to say. He wanted to say he had never seen it, but his mouth uncontrollably blurted out the truth. How could this happen? Wang Kai felt joy inside, but his face remained stern, revealing no emotion, making it impossible to read her emotions. It seems Mr. Sun's real charm really works. This guy really is the murderer. Only Wang Kai and Sun Lin knew about the real charm. The other officers didn't know. They stood there, mouths agape in shock, unable to believe what they were hearing. Their looks toward Sun Mingyuan were full of disbelief. What a rare sight. Never seen a killer so blatantly confess to killing someone. Was he out of his mind? Or did heaven think the police were having too hard a time? Decided to lighten their load? Mr. Sun, you just said you killed someone. Sun Mingyuan clamped his hands tightly over his mouth, trying to stop himself from speaking. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't hold it in. His voice still came out clearly. Yes, I killed someone. More than one, actually. I wanted to write more great books. I wanted fame. But I couldn't do it, because my inspiration had dried up. I couldn't write good works anymore. Until one day, I saw a person die right in front of me, hit by a car. His blood even splattered onto my face. And I wasn't scared at all. That thrilling shock gave me endless creative inspiration. My book became an overnight sensation. Sun Mingyuan grew more terrified with every word. In his mind, he was screaming wildly. Can't say it, can't say it. Stop, stop. But he couldn't control himself. He kept spilling the secrets buried deep in his heart. Sun Mingyuan watched in despair as Wang Kai pulled out a search warrant. A thunderbolt seemed to strike his mind. Only one thought remained. I'm doomed. This time he was truly finished. Soon, several officers carried a person up from the basement. Everyone who saw it threw up. The scene could only be described as utterly horrific. After the victim was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment, the case progressed with unusual smoothness. Under the influence of the real charm, the arrested Sun Mingyuan cooperated fully with the police, answering every question they asked. According to his confession, the police uncovered 3 more bodies. It also implicated a gruesome dismemberment murder case from several years ago. 6 years ago, a woman around 30 years old was dismembered in an extremely brutal manner. The cunning killer scattered the body parts across various counties and districts, leaving no trace behind. The cunning killer scattered the body parts across various counties and districts, leaving no trace behind. At the time, it caused widespread panic and deep fear. Wang Kai investigated day and night but found no clues. The case remained unsolved until now. It became a heavy burden on his mind. Until now. Sun Mingyuan confessed in person. And the truth finally came to light. The case was solved from start to finish in just 2 days. An unprecedented speed. Something he had never accomplished before. The previous dismemberment case had a reward of 50,000 yuan. To express his gratitude, Wang Kai applied for an additional 20,000 yuan in compensation, totaling 70,000 yuan. Receiving the reward, I grinned from ear to ear. Wang Kai and his 2 colleagues warmly saw me off at the police station entrance. Mr. Su, you've been a great help this time. I'm deeply grateful. If you ever run into trouble in the future, feel free to come to me. As long as it's not illegal, I'll do my best to help. I smiled and said, Captain Wang, no need to stand on ceremony. You paid for it. We're settled. Don't worry about it. Even so, I still remember the favor I owe you. That genuine talisman of yours is really something. If I encounter any problems in the future, can I ask for your help? Sure, if you ever need anything, just give me a call. As soon as this twisted and brutal murder case was solved, it immediately caused an uproar in society. Shooting straight to the top of the news headlines. Famous writer Sun So-and-so turns out to be a perverted murderer. Sun So-and-so brutally killed people just to find inspiration. The series of perverted murders comes to an end. Sun So-and-so's horror novels turned out to be real. Returned home. I first performed a funeral rite for the female ghost soul, then caught up on sleep. When I woke up, it was already evening. The glow of merit on my body was also denser than before. Very hurtful. The glow of merit on my body was also much denser than before. Now this body is too weak. Must hurry up and cultivate. Then on the balcony, I arranged a spirit-gathering array with stones. Sat in the middle and began meditating to cultivate. After a night of cultivation, I expelled all the filth from my body. Felt as light as a swallow. My spiritual power also improved much more than before. The following days I lived very comfortably. Aside from eating, I went to the balcony to cultivate day and night. In free time watched some TV series. Thus passed a month. My spiritual power finally had a considerable increase. Catching a ghost, fighting a monster is no problem. That night, feeling joyful, I left the residential area, heading straight to the snack street, planning to eat my fill there. Arrived at the snack street. I was eating meat skewers. A person wearing a frog costume, carrying a bunch of little frogs, sat on the steps opposite. Judging by height, seemed like a man. I looked at him, sighed inwardly. Where did this unlucky guy come from? The bad luck on his body was visible from afar. Sigh. Do a good deed a day. Since I saw it, then I'll lend a hand. I walked over and sat down next to him, took out a piece of paper from my small shoulder bag, unfolded it in front of him and showed the words fortune-telling. One reading 500, if inaccurate, no charge. The man was startled, pursed his lips. You're plagued by bad luck. Disasters will strike in the coming days. If you keep putting it off, you might be in mortal danger. If you really don't want a reading, then I'll leave. He was about to stand up and go. My words made the man shudder. He held the frog head and stared at me as if I were a ghost. The man's name was Ding Yuan. He was a college student. When he had no classes, he worked odd jobs to earn some living expenses. Recently, for no apparent reason, he'd been extremely unlucky. He'd nearly died several times. Originally a sunny, handsome young man, now his eyes were sunken. He looked haggard. Ding Yuan thought to himself, maybe I should let him do a reading. He simply took off the mask, revealing his handsome face. He simply took off the mask, revealing his handsome features. Do it, do it, do it. I sat back down. Pay first, 500 bucks. The man struggled to pull out his phone. After receiving the money, I began to speak. Go on, tell me what happened. What happened recently? That day, everyone had quite a bit to drink. The boss even called a designated driver. He specially gave me a ride partway. On the way, the boss talked a lot with me. Things like how old I was this year, what year I was born, and so on. Now that I think about it, it was right after that party. That's when my luck turned bad. I encountered every kind of misfortune. First, it was just small things. At worst, I got bitten by a dog. Deals fell through for all sorts of reasons. I thought maybe it was just bad luck lately, so I took a few days off to rest. Also, I hadn't seen Liaoqing in a few days, so I went to his place to find him. When I got to his home, I found out that Liaoqing was sick, and he was really sick. He was lying in bed, skin and bones. You could see the bones in his face. His parents cried and told me. They didn't know what happened either. When the hospital called them, the person was already lying in the hospital unconscious. Ding Yuan paused for a moment, then went on. Later he spent a week in the emergency room. They couldn't find anything wrong. We had no choice but to take her home to recover. His mom was talking to me, then suddenly she stared at me for a while. She asked for my date and time of birth, and asked if I was willing to help Liaoqing. Of course I was willing. So I asked how I could help his mom. His mom said I had strong yang energy. She asked me to sleep beside Liaoqing that night, so Liaoqing could absorb some of my yang energy. If it could help Liaoqing, I was naturally willing. Besides, just sleeping together was no big deal. So I agreed without hesitation. That night, I slept in the same bed as Liaoqing. His mom tied a red string around my wrist and Liaoqing's wrist. She said that way, my yang energy could transfer to Liaoqing. Maybe he would get better. I remember that night was especially cold. Especially the arm tied with the red string. It was numb from the cold. But late at night, I was too embarrassed to ask for another blanket. So I just endured it until dawn. The next day, Liaoqing's mom thanked me. She cooked a whole table of delicious food. She made sure I ate my fill before leaving. A few days later, Liaoqing miraculously recovered. I had been having a run of bad luck around that time. But after Liaoqing got better, my luck got even worse. Ding Yuan hugged the frog head, her face full of fear. She swallowed, then went on. Yesterday I was walking down the street. A car came straight at me out of nowhere. Good thing I dodged quickly, or I would have been dead. Can't kill me. Still won't give up. Little master, can you take a look and tell me what's going on? Did I run into something unclean? Looking at the 2 strands of black energy on him, he sighed. Poor unlucky soul. Someone borrowed your luck. You used to have good luck. First, the real estate agency boss stole your luck. Then you took on the illness and misfortune of a sick friend. I've always said don't meddle in others' relationships. You help others through their hardships. Then you have to bear their calamities yourself. It's a miracle you're still alive. Borrowed luck? What is borrowed luck? A person's luck isn't fixed. Can get better or worse. Some people are lucky. Everything they do succeeds. And some people are unlucky. Nothing they do works out. Some unlucky people will find ways to improve their luck. That means borrowing luck. Is there a way to get my luck back? Yes. With that, I tapped Ding Yuanin, and he let out a loud gasp, vomiting a mouthful of filth. All right, now that you've thrown up that filth, you'll be fine. Your luck will gradually get better. Then I handed him a peace talisman. This is a peace talisman. It's waterproof and fireproof. Carry it with you. It'll help restore your luck. Don't go back to that real estate company. The boss has bad intentions. He'll face the backlash eventually. That friend of yours will also have his shadow. Don't interfere anymore. Thank you, master. I've already resigned. I definitely won't go back to that company. Ding Yuanin agreed repeatedly. After vomiting, she felt much lighter. You're welcome. A peace charm is 500 each. I'll transfer the money to you now. By the way, master, is it a case of suddenly falling unconscious for no reason? It means someone is borrowing your energy. Not necessarily. I'll need to see the person in person to know what's going on. What's wrong? Do you have someone else at home who's unconscious? Ding Yuanin hesitated for a moment. He pulled out a photo on his phone to show me. It's my classmate. He suddenly fell unconscious for no reason. Is there something wrong with him too? I took a look. It was a young man lying in a hospital bed. His entire body was surrounded by a black aura. You guessed right. His illness is indeed problematic. And it's even more serious than yours. More serious than mine? I paused for a moment and continued. Do you know if he's had anything unusual happen recently? Been to any place? Or come into contact with any person or thing? And it's even more serious than yours. More serious than mine? Yeah, I paused for a moment and continued. Do you know if he's had anything unusual happen recently? Been to any place? Or come into contact with any person or thing? I don't recall anything unusual. If something happened to him, he would definitely tell me. I really can't think of anything special. He just suddenly got sick. Sick in a very strange way. One moment he was talking to me, then suddenly he fell unconscious. It's pretty scary. Would it be convenient for me to take a look at your dormitory? I won't go inside. Just turn on a video call. Let me see it. Sure, I'll go back to the dorm now. Ding Yuanin took off his mascot costume. He put the peace charm into his pocket and patted it twice, gathered his things, prepared to head back. Have you ever thought that every time you encounter danger, you came out without a scratch? Why is that? Why? Is it because my fate is so tough it takes more effort to kill me? Of course not. Someone is protecting you. Protecting me? Who? Then I should thank them. I smiled mysteriously and said, I'll tell you later. Let's go to the dorm first, okay? After Ding Yuan left, I looked at the white-haired old woman behind her and said with a smile, don't worry, she'll be fine. Follow me. The old woman smiled and nodded at me. Ding Yuan's dorm was fairly clean. This time there was no one in the dorm. Ding Yuan took out her phone and video called Su Ran. Master, they're all gone. Probably out meeting their girlfriends too. She paced around the dorm as she spoke. I looked around Ding Yuan's dorm. My gaze stopped at one bed. My brows furrowed. This bed has a strong aura of evil and traces of his talisman use. I frowned and asked, whose is that top bunk ahead? I asked, whose is that top bunk ahead? That's my good buddy Xuanan's. The one I said suddenly got sick. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Seeing my expression was off, Ding Yuan hastily stepped back a few paces. No way. Master, is Xuanan really in trouble? I nodded solemnly. Ding Yuan panicked. Her voice even carried a sob. Please don't. Master, Xuanan is my best friend. You have to save him. I said, don't rush. Tell me what you know. Xuanan and I were born on the same day, same month, same year. We're also neighbors. We're really close. A week ago we went to the cafeteria together for a meal. He took one bite and collapsed onto the table. I was so scared at that moment. I thought there was poison in the food. I rushed him to the hospital. But after that, he's been unconscious. The doctors can't figure out what's wrong. Before this, I didn't notice anything unusual. I've been thinking these past few days. Whether Xuanan and I unknowingly offended something unclean. Look how unlucky I've been lately. And he suddenly fell into a coma. This whole thing is just bizarre. Master, am I right or not? I nodded. His illness is indeed suspicious. To be precise, it's not an illness. Not an illness. Master, how do we save him? Tell me and I'll do exactly as you say. I can't do it, but his parents can. I said his situation is quite special. I need to see him in person. That's easy. I'll take you right now. I checked the time. It was 8:40 p.m. Going now. Won't that be a disturbance? No disturbance. Xuanan is in the hospital, open 24 hours. Okay then, come pick me up. I agreed. Ding Yuan rode his little electric scooter, carrying me on the back. We sped off toward the hospital where Xuanan was staying. With my protection talisman, Ding Yuan felt much lighter. It took over 20 minutes to reach the inpatient building of the city center hospital. It was quiet, almost no sound. Xuanan was in a private room. Hearing someone arrive, Wang Mei quickly wiped away her tears. Turning around, she saw Ding Yuan with a young girl. She thought it was her son's classmate. The couple didn't think much of it. Shui Guangyuan looked haggard. Shaoan, why are you here so late? Is this your classmate? Scholar, this is Master Su. He's amazing. He saw at a glance that Xuanan's illness was off. I brought him to take a look. Looking at me. He's just a young guy. I just thought they were messing around. Sighed. Shaoan, I know you care about Nan Nan. I appreciate it, but it's not safe late at night. Go see Nan Nan and then head back quickly. Just then, an old man walked in from behind. Master Su, what are you doing here? I smiled and said, Old man, we meet again. Great. Master Su, I found you. I've been searching all over town for you these past 2 days. Couldn't find you anywhere. I was so worried. The old man said, turning to look at his son. Seeing him still standing there dumbfounded. The old man said, turning to look at his son. Seeing him still standing there dumbfounded. He said unhappily, this is the one I told you about. Master Su, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and greet Master Su. Shui Guangyuan sized me up. My old man said, he met a truly remarkable master while eating buns. Like a fortune teller. His predictions were spot on. At the time, I thought it was impressive too. Then later, my son got sick. The old man combed the streets looking for that fortune teller, saying he could save the kid. Never expected it to be this delicate-looking young man in front of me. Wang Mei gently tugged at Shui Guangren's sleeve. The latter couldn't withstand his father's glare. So the son awkwardly greeted me. The old man was so anxious his lips cracked. Never thought Master Su would come find me himself. Quick, take a look and tell me if my grandson is possessed. Shui Dai quickly pushed his son aside. Led me to the bedside. I only took one look at Xuanan. And I understood everything. His life has been borrowed. What borrowed life? I nodded. Some people, to ensure they don't die, use sinister curses by any means necessary, borrowing others' lives to extend their own lifespan. This is called borrowing lifespan. Old man Shui was both shocked and furious. That damned bastard with 8 generations of bad karma. My grandson, whom I treasure more than anything, he actually dared to accept it. I'll fight him to the death. My words nearly killed Wang Mei. She looked at me with tearful eyes. Master, I have only this one son. I beg you, you must save him. Shui Guangyuan, save him. Shui Guangyuan put his arm around his wife's shoulders and patted her gently. After comforting her, he then consoled the furious old man. Don't worry. First, listen to what the master has to say. Old man, the talisman I gave you, your grandson carries it with him, right? Kept carrying old man Shui along. Reached into his grandson's pocket, but pulled out a handful of talisman ash. Old man Shui wouldn't give up. Felt around again. Still only ash. What's going on? Why just a handful of ash? At first he refused to carry it. Only when I threatened to cut his allowance did he agree to carry the talismans. They turned to ash after use. I told him that after being targeted for life theft, he should have died suddenly. The talisman deflected the calamity for him. So now he's only unconscious. Master, can you wake my son up? Wang Mei's eyes welled with tears, gazing at her son on the bed with heartache. I nodded and said, all right, then raised my hand and cast a talisman. It flew above Xuanan. suddenly expanding to life-size, emitting a golden light, swiftly merging into Shui Nan's body. Wang Mei's eyes nearly popped out in shock, staring wide-eyed at the man surnamed Shui on the bed. Shui Guangyuan and Wang Wei's minds had clearly frozen as they stared in shock at their son. Old man Shui was a bit better off than them, but his legs were a little unsteady. The man surnamed Shui on the bed stirred. Opening his eyes, he saw a group of people staring intently at him. Startled, he flinched. "Why are you all looking at me like that? It's creepy, I haven't snapped out of it yet." Rushing toward his son. But old man Shui beat him to it. My precious grandson. You're finally awake. You scared your grandpa to death." I waited until their emotions settled before continuing. "Wicked fate is a sinister forbidden technique. To completely resolve it, we must find the person behind it, and break the spell." I thought for a moment and then asked, "In your family, does someone die unexpectedly every few years?" You're right, even these kinds of things. The master can predict. It's truly miraculous. Old man Shui had 3 brothers. He was the third. The eldest brother, Shui Dashan, had 2 sons and 1 daughter. The eldest son fell off the roof while repairing it and died. A few years later, the second son, still young, suddenly died of a heart attack. The second brother, Shui Dechuan, had 1 son and 1 daughter. A few years ago, the son died in a bus rollover while traveling. Everyone else on the bus was fine. Only he died. They also found it suspicious. The 3 Shui brothers discussed it, and thought the family cemetery might be the problem. So they asked someone to find a master of Feng Shui. They chose a new auspicious location, and moved the ancestral graves. The Feng Shui of each family's house was also checked, making sure there were no issues with the living or burial sites. Only then were they at ease. The 2 years following were very stable. Everyone thought the trouble was over. Unexpectedly, their own grandson ran into trouble. Shui Guangyuan thought it over. Considering what Su Ran had just said, he asked tentatively, "Could it be that they were all accepted?" I nodded. Could it be? They were accepted. Wang Mei was startled by my words, gripping her son's hand tightly. "So serious? Then will my son be in trouble?" "Rest assured. He won't die." "Is there an elderly person in your family?" "He won't die." "Is there a very old person in your family?" "Must be a blood relative." Everyone was confused when I said this, but they still thought carefully. Shui thought for a long time, said, "I have an uncle who is the oldest. He's 90 years old." I shook my head. "Not him. That person should be over 100 years old." "Think again carefully." Shui racked his brains, but couldn't think of anyone in the family that old. Helplessly, he called his elder brother, explained the situation. Shui Laoda also thought for a long time. Suddenly remembered someone. "Lao San. Our family has a great aunt. She seems pretty old. Must be over 100 years old. It's Dafeng." His mother. "Think again. Isn't she dead?" "Not dead. Someone saw him come back a few days ago." Hung up the phone. Shui looked at me. He had the phone on speaker. Naturally, I heard it too. I nodded. "It should be him. Can you find him?" "I don't know where he is. But I met Dafeng a long time ago. I know he still has a youngest son. Maybe I can get in touch with him." Upon hearing this, I nodded. Agreed, saying okay. "Then get in touch with him. Then let's go home tomorrow to check. Since someone saw him return to the village, he might be at the old house." Shui went through some trouble to contact Dafeng's youngest son. After all, it's someone else's old house. It wouldn't be right to go alone. Better to bring him along to check the old place. "Let's go check the old place together." After leaving, I bought some yellow paper and cinnabar. Back home, I drew many talismans through the night. Shui Guangyuan's life-extending ritual failed. The other party definitely won't let it go. Either find someone else, or think of another way. So we must find the corpse-cursed person as soon as possible. When that happens, a fight is inevitable. Drawing more talismans is better to be prepared. Early the next morning, Shui Guangyuan drove to pick up Dafeng's youngest son, Shui Gui. The group of 4 hurried back to their hometown. Shui's hometown was in Shui Family Village, a neighboring city. It wasn't too far from Jinjiang City. Took about an hour by car. I took out 3 safety talismans, folded them into triangles, and handed them out one by one. I told them to keep them close to their bodies. "Thank you, Master Su." Shui cherished them like treasure. He carefully placed them in the hidden pocket of his jacket. Shui Guangyuan also seriously put his into a zippered pants pocket. Shui Gui had never seen such things. Although Shui introduced me as a very powerful master, he was still skeptical of me inside. He didn't pay much attention. He casually stuffed the talisman into his phone case. After thinking for a long time, Shui Gui revealed a little-known past event. This matter goes back several decades. One night, Shui Gui's father, Dafeng, was thirsty and got up to get some water. He opened the door and saw his mother kneeling in front of his own bedroom door, kowtowing. No matter how clueless Dafeng was, He knew that elders kowtowing to younger ones. Xiaobei will have his lifespan shortened. Immediately after having a big quarrel with his mother never kowtowed to them again. After Dafeng thought the matter had passed, mother never kowtowed to them again. Dafeng thought the matter had passed. 6 months later, the 7-year-old son climbed a haystack to play. As a result, the haystack toppled over. The child was crushed under the haystack and suffocated to death. Heartbroken Dafeng, the couple discovered that their mother's originally gray hair had suddenly turned black, and the wrinkles on her face had disappeared. She looked more than 10 years younger overall. Dafeng found it strange. While arguing with his mother, he noticed she wore a black jade pendant around her neck. There seemed to be characters engraved on it. Dafeng snatched the pendant. After seeing it clearly, he was stunned. It shockingly bore his son's birth date and time. Dafeng felt as if falling into an ice cave. He confronted his mother, asking if his son's death was related to her. So what if it is? I gave birth to you. I gave you your lives. I'm just taking them back now. What's the problem? The couple cried in each other's arms all night. Later, Dafeng and his wife moved to another place. From then on, they cut off contact with his mother. A few years later, the couple had a child in their old age. They had a younger son named Shui. At the age of 4, Dafeng died in an accident. At the age of 20, his mother also died of cancer. Perhaps the old lady didn't know of Shuigui's existence. She lived safely until now. My mother told me these things on her deathbed. She always felt that my father's death and her own illness were related to grandma. So she told me never to return to our hometown no matter what, and not to contact anyone from the village. As for this kind of life-borrowing matter, I never really believed it. After many years, this matter gradually faded from memory. I haven't been back to the village for all these years. I haven't been back to the village for all these years either. I don't know what's been happening in the village. When you found me yesterday, it instantly reminded me of this. I hope I'm overthinking it. Old Su was furious and started cursing loudly. He was gesturing wildly with his hands, as if he wanted to strangle the old woman with his own hands. What kind of mother is that? Even a vicious tiger won't eat its own cubs. She actually tried to borrow years from her own grandson's life. That's lower than a beast. After ruining her own family, she went after others. Why didn't the heavens strike her dead? A sharp glint flashed in my eyes, but my tone remained calm. It's all right. If heaven won't take her, I will. Guang Yuan was also furious. He was driving and didn't dare make too much noise, so he just followed his father's lead and cursed a few times. Shui Gui was overwhelmed with shame. After all, that was his own grandmother. For her to do such a thing, he felt too ashamed to face anyone. I noticed his discomfort. The wrongdoer is responsible. This has nothing to do with you. You don't need to blame yourself. Only after eldest Shui had finished cursing did he comfort Shui Gui. Nephew, don't be upset. Just pretend you never had such a relative. No need to feel guilty about the bad things she did. You're also a victim. The journey took over an hour. Not too far. Not too long either. Soon we arrived at Shui family village. The village was full of narrow paths. The closer we got to Shui Gui's old family home, the more clearly I felt a surge of yin energy. Finally standing in front of Shui Gui's old house. From the doorway inside the old house, a towering aura of malice permeated the entire surroundings. I narrowed my eyes. A trace of coldness flickered in my gaze. There's something evil and dark inside. Eldest Shui and second Shui knew their younger brother was coming. Early on, they waited at the door with people, concerning the matter of borrowing life. This is a matter of great importance. They dared not be careless. Seeing Shuida and the 2 others, stepped forward. Third brother is here. Where is the master you invited? Shui Laoda glanced at the group. Thought Shui Gui was the master. Hurriedly stepped forward to shake hands. Old Shui stopped him. Pointing at me said, wrong guess. This is Uncle Dafeng's youngest son, Shui Gui. This is Master Su. Su Laoda and Su Lauer looked shocked. Looked up and down. I looked utterly incredulous. Third brother knew you were unreliable. Good thing I had foresight. Invited a Taoist priest. Otherwise today's matter would have been messed up. Second brother, you must not be rude to the master. Age does not represent ability. Don't underestimate Master Su. He is very formidable. Only then did I see a man in Taoist robes standing behind the 2. Not old. Around 30 years old. His hair was tied in a Taoist topknot, with a peachwood sword on his back. His body was faintly surrounded by Taoist spiritual energy and merit. The golden light suggested he had some skill. But not much. The young Taoist should have some skill. But the young Taoist was also sizing me up. He sensed spiritual energy from me. I didn't expect a young brother like you to be so young, yet already have spiritual energy on you, and it seems quite strong. With just a few glances they judged each other's strength. Knowing they were kindred spirits, the young Taoist took the initiative to greet. I, Mao Xiaofan, was invited by Mr. Shui to resolve the Yin evil. This is Master Su. I specially invited him to resolve the evil energy for my grandson. Then Shui the elder spoke up. Since you two masters are here, let's do it together. Many hands make light work. In front of the pavilion we followed a group of people and walked inside. The yard was overgrown with weeds. There were signs of people coming and going. Mao Xiaofan also sensed the evil aura. He cautiously observed the surroundings. Shui Gui was about to open the door of the main house. The door suddenly opened. A chilling wind from nowhere swept through the crowd. The gale carried sand and dust. It blew so hard that people couldn't open their eyes. I was unaffected. I stared straight at the house. Then I saw a black shadow dart out from inside. It reached out toward Shui Gui's heart. Wang Xiaofan was quick. He pulled Shui Gui behind him in one swift move. He drew a peachwood sword and thrust it at the black shadow. The next second, a piercing shriek rang out. The black shadow recoiled in pain. After the black shadow stopped moving, the chilling wind gradually subsided. When everyone saw the black shadow clearly, they were all stunned for a moment. Just a moment. Shui Gui was so frightened he nearly fell. What the hell is this thing? When Wang Xiaofan saw the black shadow's appearance, he couldn't help but curse. At the same time, Shui Guang'an, terrified, grabbed a few old men and stumbled back several steps. Is this a person or a ghost? Then they saw a giant monkey. Its face had red and blue intersecting patterns. It had a tuft of orange goatee on its chin. The injured arm of this creature was sizzling. I spoke up. This is a mandrill that eats rotting flesh and grows by sucking the souls of ghosts. Extremely sinister and evil. This thing is ferocious and violent. It moves extremely fast. Everyone be careful not to let it grab or bite you. It is highly toxic. Upon hearing this, the three old men, in perfect unison, quickly retreated to outside the gate. They held onto the doorframe and looked inside. At that moment, behind the mandrill, an old woman with white hair and a youthful face slowly appeared. Her aura was even denser than the mandrill's. She was now staring at everyone with venomous eyes. So Shui Gui looked at her in disbelief. Is this the grandmother he had never met? Calculating her age, she should be 103 years old. Yet the wrinkles on her face were fewer than his own. She looked even younger than him. My name is Shui Gui. Shui Dafeng is my father. Didn't expect he left behind a little brat like you. What a pity. If I had known you existed, I wouldn't have looked for anyone else. With you, I wouldn't need anyone else. The old woman let out two sinister laughs. She raised her hand and gathered a cloud of black mist. She passed it to the mountain spirit, who inhaled it with ecstasy. The wound on its arm healed at a visible speed. Soon, it was completely restored. Holy shit, it healed just like that? Mao Xiaofan's hand holding the peachwood sword trembled almost imperceptibly. He muttered to himself, Master, you've really screwed me this time. You said it was a small matter. This is clearly a life-threatening business. It's over. This Taoist master is going to die here today. I showed no fear on my face. I walked over and stood beside Mao Xiaofan. Mao Xiaofan glanced at me beside him. He swallowed his saliva. Gritting his teeth, he said, Fellow Taoist pig, don't be afraid, let's work together. We can definitely destroy him. The mountain spirit, fully healed, its eyes turned bloodshot, suddenly leaped up, extremely fast, charging straight at Mao Xiaofan's face, aiming to bite. Mao Xiaofan raised his sword to block the peachwood sword. It flew out of his hand. The mountain spirit, with one claw, struck his arm. The moment it touched Mao Xiaofan, the golden light on his body sizzled and burned the mountain spirit's claw. A burnt smell filled the air. The pain instantly enraged the mountain spirit. Baring its fangs, it viciously bit at Mao Xiaofan.